Welcome everyone to today's webinar about unlocking your potential with OPDA accreditation. I'm Sian Hemming-Metcalfe, and today we're going to be talking about the OPDA accreditation, not just what it is, but why it's becoming the benchmark for trust, interoperability, and also accountability in the UK property data space. So welcome. So who is the OPDA? So the OPDA is the Open Property Data Association, and it's an independent industry body made up of lenders, of prop tech companies, conveyancers, data providers, and people and companies who are interested in how we manage our property data and also the home buying and selling process. We work directly with government departments and forums and groups such as the Digital Property Market Steering Group, or DPMSG, and also with the Department of Levelling Up and Housing and Communities. And this is all about bringing our members' voices into cross-sector initiatives. And our goal here is to drive the digitisation of the home buying selling process, and through trusted, secure and ethical data and collaboration. And we also actively contribute to the development of the Property Data Trust Framework. And this is the foundation for secure, standardised property data exchange here in the UK. So the OPDA is all about driving the digitisation and sharing of open property data. And said we are very much focused on collaboration and transparency, and also making that the home buying and selling process is much better supported than it is now, and doing that through the data and also technology leadership, because the whole point of what we're trying to do is to digitize the process. And it means then we've got a much better way of sharing data quickly, safely, securely, but also speeding up the actual process of buying and selling a home. So why accreditation matters? For me and for all of the founding exec panel members, and also current members and association members, and those that are already joining up, accreditation shows that you're more than just being compliant. You're actively contributing to a smarter, safer property market. And this does signal to the government and industry and also the consumers that you yourself support ethical data use, secure standards, and are transparent about your operations. And also that you're prepared to work at the level expected by national frameworks and steering groups. And this builds trust in the industry. It builds trust in you as an individual, in your company, in your services, and also in the sector as a whole. And that is a key to not only just staying competitive, but also bringing people back into buying and selling property that maybe have been a little disaffected by the long process, the paperwork trails that get lost, the deals that fall through, all because we just don't have the right structure in place. And this is what we're trying to change. And all of this work, all of the OPDA steering group work, and every person that sits on the panels, on the forums, or involved in any way, shape or form, we're all here to try and drive the adoption of open standards and make sure that the sharing of smart property data between both members, the public, and anybody else that requires them in order to buy and sell a property is very much built on trust and transparency, rather than the unfortunate viewpoint that most consumers have of the property market, where it's not seen as being particularly honest. It's definitely not quick, and it's definitely not pain-free. So we've got to make sure that we can help this process, and accreditation helps build that trust. And with trust, people then start to talk to you, processes start to change, and people start to adopt. So what are the benefits of being accredited? So, for some people, the displaying of the OPDA accredited member badge, that's really important to them, because it shows a mark of excellence. It shows that you're interested, and that the mark is increasingly carrying weight with both lenders and regulators. Also, access to the OPD-led projects and government-backed pilots that we're already involved with and where we're looking to become involved. So this really helps strengthen our reputation. It helps with the security and privacy standards and making sure that we are in the mix with the conversation at every single level. And it gives us that direct line into policy shaping, because it allows us to be part of those task force, part of those data standard conversations and steering them to where we collectively think it should be the right format, and also being part of the consultation responses. And this also helps with us understanding what the rest of the sector also needs, because it's not one dimensional. We have multiple stakeholders at different levels, from the consumer right up to the government and beyond. So this is all about understanding everybody's viewpoint and making sure that the standards, the frameworks that we're putting forward are indeed fit for purpose and what everybody actually really does need. So the accreditation process, what does that mean, or what does that look like at a glance? So the accreditation process is a self-assessment. You will apply and complete the self-assessment form. This all comes with guidance. It all comes with our policies, which are freely available and will be sent to you when you apply for accreditation. And then when you do submit your documentation, what we're looking for is details around what it is you're doing, making sure you're adhering to our goals, our priorities, our standards as an association, because obviously they're all built around, as I said, that trust element, to try and make sure that certainly from the industry point of view, we are seen as a trusted association, and then we will then become part of the bigger and wider conversation. So this self-certification isn't a tick box. We are going to challenge you with some questions. We're going to ask you what it is that you're doing, how you are supporting the goals and the principles of the association, and also saying what you're doing as a company as well in regards to your own standards, your own trust, and your own data security. So we'll be looking for data policies and compliance evidence, and also any certifications that you currently have or indeed you are working towards. Now, once we receive all of that, we have a panel where we review and score your submission via an independent panel. And there's at least 3 people on that panel. Everybody independently scores that application. And then if that application goes beyond the pass mark, which is 80%, then you'll be notified that you have passed the self-accreditation process, and then we'll be given access to both the articles, the elements of the association, but also the badges, the ability to say that you're part and parcel of the association as a self-accredited member. And this accreditation is monitored. This is not a one-off, sign it and then you forget about it. We are monitoring it annually. This isn't a one and done, basically. It's about an ongoing benchmark that is tied to national expectations. And as you can imagine, the industry is changing constantly. And as it changes, so will the accreditation process. So this is literally the first step. We are looking to bring a technical accreditation forward for members as we move forward. And it means then that certainly, as again, from an OPDA point of view, as an association, from facing the public and also the government, that we can be seen as trusted and that we have the right interests at our heart, which is about the standardization of the buying and selling process. So this accreditation is included as part of the membership fee and is open to all members. And as I was saying, what we look for, we are looking for a collaboration with industry peers. We're looking for strong data privacy, security and compliance. An example of that is the ISO 27001. But we're also looking towards you as an individual and your company about your openness to collaboration. You're putting everybody else's interests at the forefront as opposed to your own. And we're looking for transparency in your operations. That doesn't mean we want you to open up your business to us and so we can go have a look around, etc. But it's about being open and honest where you are, what you're doing, and how you're contributing to the data trust framework and to the process of open data sharing. And certainly, most critically, we're looking for alignment with the UK's property data trust framework. So this is the spine of the interoperability standards. And these are being adopted by the HM Land Registry, by the government, and commercial platforms alike. So, we are looking to see that you're going to be doing that. And it doesn't mean if you're not there now, the fact that you are working towards that. And that's why we also do an annual assessment as well. So what happens after accreditation? So again, you'll be publicly listed as an accredited member, and you'll gain recognition across the industry through the badges, through the directory listings, and also media promotion. You'll also get continuous support with access to education and resources. And that means then we've got a monthly newsletter that comes out. We have constant information points coming out in regards to emails, also on our Slack channels, and so that you're always kept abreast of everything that our chairperson Maria Harris is doing when she's talking to the different committees, but you'll also get involved in that as well. So there's always opportunities where you can influence, you can collaborate with projects and be part of that conversation, in person, in the room, as it were. And that all means then you're contributing again to that smart property data trust framework, and also the creation of future accreditation standards, because we've got one standard now, but that doesn't mean we're not going to evolve. And that is certainly something that we want to do. So the more voices, the more input, the more collaboration, the better, so that we can make the best from being an OPDA member, but also translate that into the marketplace as well. And like I said, we do an annual assessment, self-assessment to uphold standards, and also ongoing compliance monitoring to ensure that you're being transparent, and also that the trust element is there. So how to get started? So joining is very straightforward. You can head to the openpropertydata.org.uk and register and gain the form to join. And then once activated, your fee is taken, and the fee parameters are already, or sorry, not parameters, the fee rate card, etc., is on the website. And then you can request and complete your self-assessment. When you do complete your self-assessment, provide all your supporting documents, your certifications, your compliance records, your policies. And if you think there's something there that maybe is not mentioned in the self-assessment form that you think, actually, do you know what, I would like this also taken into consideration, then please put it in as well. Obviously, from a GDPR point of view, you want to make sure that anything that is particularly sensitive to your company is redacted. But certainly when it comes to certifications, etc., once you have those, then all we would like to see is the actual certificate itself. And then you submit your application and your self-certification to the OPDA for the review board. And then that's when we do our part. You'll be notified of the results and given any recommended actions to complete your accreditation if maybe you've not quite hit the pass mark. We normally aim to get those done within 2 weeks of submission. So accreditation is definitely not a checkbox. It is not a case of just do it, leave it, walk away, go and think about something else. It's a true commitment, and it's a commitment to excellence. It's a commitment to building trust within the industry, really supporting innovation, supporting that collaborative approach, not just between you and the OPDA members, but everybody that's involved in the change in the home buying and selling process, and making sure certainly that when we do collaborate, it's all about property data being smart, being applicable, being trusted, and making sure that certainly from a client, a consumer point of view, that they know that they're in safe hands. So if you really are serious about being at the table, about joining the Open Property Data Association, whether that's as a lender, as a regulator, or tech platforms, or a service that you think they can contribute, this is how you get to be part of that conversation. And accreditation, again, because we started with assessment. It's not about chasing perfection, because we're all learning every single day. Things are changing and we're evolving and adapting. It's really about showing that progress, showing that roadmap, that we are maturing as both as an association, but also as a sector, and be effectively ready to shape the future. So our founding members, as you can see here, and you see Infantry Base, the company I work with, is part of those founding members, because we all collectively are committed to being to being part of the conversation, but also to actively contribute to the changes that are really, really needed within the sector, and certainly, with consumers at the forefront, so that they will trust us, they will trust the data, they'll trust the process, and make sure that we can streamline that process, so that we can bring those timelines down and stop the issues around missing information, information that is not necessarily relied or trusted, and also speeding up the process so that chains don't break and people equally feel confident in the actual process itself. And as a founding member, and as all the founding members you can see here, we're already shaping that policy. We're deeply involved in influencing the frameworks and really providing the ethical smart data, so that we can showcase what that should look like, and also make sure that we make the accreditation as visible and scalable and easy as possible. Our association members are from big lenders, as you can see, to conveyancers, innovators. This isn't a single who's who of forward-thinking players, because this is growing every single day. So you are part of a building family, as it were, a cohort of like-minded companies and businesses and people who really understand the need for change. And accreditation really does place you shoulder to shoulder with the serious operators within this sector. So you're definitely in good company, and also it's a great way to learn from each other as well. So if you do have any questions or anything that you want to ask, then you can contact me either here at Infantry Base or via the OPDA website. You'll also find all of the members on LinkedIn, and you will also, once you sign up to the website, we'll be able to sign up to the newsletter and then get in touch that way. So from an accreditation point of view, please feel free to get in touch, to email, to call me, or find my details on LinkedIn, and I'll be very happy to answer any questions that you have. And in the meantime, you can find out all the details and start your application process on the OPDA website. Thank you very much indeed for taking the time to listen to this webinar. I hope it's been useful, and I look forward to welcoming you as a OPDA member very soon. Thank you.